All right, everyone. Welcome. My name's Grant, and I'm from the Prosperable team, so the team that powers Grad New Zealand. And I'm here and joined today by a fabulous panel of technology employers. So without further ado, I might actually pass across to Yetki from Summer of Technology, who'll be facilitating today's Super Fair. And firstly, thank you, Yetki, and the Summer of Tech team as well for your continued support in running these events. It's very much appreciated and wouldn't be possible without you guys. So yeah, I might pass the mic across to you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Grant and the Prosperable team for putting together this amazing event. And I'm particularly super excited in having the 4 employers from FNZ, Eagle Technology, DXC Technology, and also Kami to share about their employers' perspectives on what you're looking for when you're hiring graduates. And kia ora koutou for all of the attendees, the students and graduates today. Please check your information into the chat. I think one of the Prosperable team is asking where you're from, where you're based, so that we feel all connected in this online space. Cool. So let me introduce myself quickly. My name is Yekti Crow, and my pronouns is she or her. So I am from the Summer of Tech team. I'm the Student Experience Manager, and we are very, very thrilled to be sponsoring this Prosperable's virtual Super Fair, especially for the technology stream. As I mentioned, today we are joined by 4 wonderful employers representing their organization. So it is a great opportunity for all of you candidates to ask them questions related to their roles, their companies, and if you want to know some tips or what does a day look like in their organization, now it is the time. Make this connection and learn from them. Cool. Why don't we start with an introduction for each of the employer, and please describe a little bit about what your organization does. I think we should start with FNZ, Peter, and then we'll go to Claire, and then Daniel and Jonathan. Sounds good?
Hi there, everyone. Thank you for the introduction. My name's Peter Gibson. I'm the global head of FNZ's Academy. FNZ, we're a wealth technology platform provider. We've been in the space since about 2003, building wealth platforms. And while we started here in New Zealand, we're now in about 20 different jurisdictions across the globe, about 4,000 employees, and growing very, very fast at the moment.
Awesome. Thank you, Peter. Over to you, Claire.
Ko Claire Te Alo Aho and tēnā koutou katoa. So I work for Eagle Technology, which is a family-owned private technology company, and it's actually been in existence for over 50 years. So it started in 1969 in New Zealand, and we really have a focus on system integration and information management. And you might notice up on the top of my screen that we're also what's called an Esri distributor. That means that we actually sell products that are created by Esri, which have a real focus on the power of location or geographic information systems. So that's the part of the business that I work for. I'm the GIS education and training manager for Eagle Technology, with a real focus on that GIS and making sure that geography is part of every system integration, every system implementation and architecture project that we might do in the technology space.
Awesome. Thank you for the intro. Daniel, over to you.
Thanks, Yekti. So my name is Daniel De Salvatore. I work as the recruitment specialist for the DXC graduate program here in Canberra. I'm based, but we have the graduate program running across New Zealand and Australia. DXC Technology, we're a large global IT services company working mainly business to business, so for a lot of Fortune 500 companies, and especially a lot of public sector clients. So a lot of the stuff we do ranges from applications and software and to, business consulting and process consulting, stuff like that. So yeah, range of different services that we offer.
Great, thank you. And you are tuning in from Canberra today.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes, so we have people spread out all over the Australia and New Zealand. So welcome everyone. Jonathan, welcome, and please introduce us about your company and what you do.
Thanks very much, Shikti. My name's Jonathan. I'm from Cami, and I'm a senior engineer on the team there. Cami has been one of the leading interactive learning engagement platforms in the world, and it's been built right here in New Zealand. Cami is a tool that allows you to turn any learning resource into a much more engaging and collaborative learning experience for both teachers and students. So for example, Cami allows teachers to take printed resources from their curriculum, such as the page of a book, a map, or a graph, and then share these with their students on devices rather than having to print them out and hand out many sheets of paper. Cami was originally started in Auckland, New Zealand back in 2013. And over the past couple of years, it's become an invaluable tool for millions of teachers and students around the world as the pandemic has forced many people to become online learners.
That is amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I think the next question would be around what you are looking for in terms of the roles that you're available currently. Maybe talk about that a little bit for all of the students in here who probably have not had the chance to do a research. So now is the time to talk about those. And as an employer, when you are reviewing applications and hiring candidates for graduates, what are you looking for in them? You can talk about a little bit of core skills, or if there are any technical skills required for the roles that you're looking for. I think we should switch it up a little bit. I will start with Daniel this time.
Yes, so so basically for our graduate program, we're really not just specifically looking for people with technology backgrounds. We actually hire a lot of people across technical and non-technical roles, and part of our business and part of the graduate program is to upskill candidates that are really keen to get into the technology field. So we're just looking for motivated graduates that are, interested in technology and just want to learn more about what we do globally, really, as well as in the region. So that's kind of what we're looking for. The roles that we have to offer range from, more technical stuff in terms of software engineers and application development through to PMs, business consulting, that kind of thing. And because we work with so many different clients, like I said, we're open to people from all different backgrounds and degree types. So yeah, it's a bit about us.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Maybe Claire this time? And then we go to Jonathan and then Peter.
Oh, thanks, Ichi. So what are we looking for in a graduate? Well, because I do come from the GIS part of the business, we are really looking for somebody who has some interest in GIS. So it might be that you've done information systems at university, but you want to bring in some geography into that. Because we are the distributor, we have very much a computer heavy focus to the roles that we provide. So less on the analysis side and more about how systems work on the back end is fantastic use as well. We're also looking for somebody who's passionate about technology and the betterment of what we call our spatial community, which is where GIS sort of fits, and also passionate about helping our customers to succeed. And there's also really an emerging technology part to our graduates that we're looking for. We're looking for an enthusiasm and a curiosity about emerging technologies and how they could actually be applied. So the roles that we have, we are particularly looking for graduates who would like to have a look at any part of the business that Eagle Technology runs, and they can come from any sort of background. So we do have a lot of people who come from a computer technology background, but we also have a lot of people who come from a science background as well. They might have majored in geology or geography or something like that, as well as having an interest in technology.
Wonderful. I think I will ask a follow-up questions later on about like potentials and how students can actually showcase that passions in their communication skills. But we'll go to Jonathan for now.
Thanks, Ifti. So I'll focus a little bit from the engineering side as well. So What we're really looking for at Cami is candidates who share our passion for building amazing and excellent products that our teachers and students will really benefit from. So when we're in the interview process and looking at candidates, attributes that we think will add to that are really what we're trying to find. We also have a very open and collaborative approach to how we do our product development and our development systems at Cami. And it's really important for us that the people that we're bringing into that environment to become new Cami team members are a good fit for that. So that's definitely something that we're looking for, people who are keen to work in a team environment, who display attributes that we think are going to fit really well with the culture that we've built here at Cami. We don't have to have a technical background to necessarily apply for a job at Cami. We'll look for just any kind of ability that we think has a lot of potential in terms of what we're trying to do in our business and how that might fit in. But if you're applying specifically for an engineering position, there will be a technical aspect to that we're looking at. But it only makes up one piece of the puzzle, particularly for graduates and for interns. We're looking much more at how we think you'll fit in with the team, what growth potential we think you have, and other kind of attributes that you're going to bring to the organization. So we're looking for just talented people who we want to support and can support as they join Cami and start their journey in the workforce.
Wonderful. Yeah, collaboration and growth mindsets are very important for employers, but also for candidates to know. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But Peter, what are you looking for in your candidates?
Yeah, you're probably very similar to the rest of the candidate employers here as well. You know, we're very flexible and open to your backgrounds you've come in here. So, you know, personally myself, I've gone through the entire technology area, and I started life as a sports physiotherapist. So, you know, I've been employing a lot of people, a lot of graduates into this for FNZ over the years, and you know, I've seen a whole range of different backgrounds. You know, FNZ, because we provide a whole different range of services, not just the technology area, we also have our operations team, our production support, our contact center staff. You know, there's a whole range of different types of people can find an opportunity at FNZ. And if that opportunity doesn't gravitate to you over a period of time, there's lots of different roles you can move into later on in your career as well, and switching between roles both, and switching with different countries as well. So if you feel that, you know, you really want to grow your skill set in a different area and different jurisdiction, then those opportunities come about, not just physically, but, you know, even from here in New Zealand, you can work on big overseas projects as well. So really for us, it's around, you know, making sure we're open to everyone. You know, we are a technology company though, and we are building lots of great tech, and you know, coming in with some technical skill sets will really accelerate your career. But we're also in a situation here where you know, we've got a lot of people who can teach you, to upskill you if that's what you need to become successful as well.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, all the four of you. So it is actually my personal experience working with various students from different backgrounds through Summer of Techs in the last couple of years. And whenever I talk to candidates or students or graduates, they're wanting to focus on is the technical skills, and they want to build on that. But then when we're talking to the employers, it's totally different, because they were talking about, oh, your communication skills, whether or not you will be able to work collaboratively in a team, or whether you can give feedback and receiving feedback in a graceful manner so that you can grow with the company. So I think my next question would be open for everyone. How would you suggest students could balance the core skills and technical skills, and you know, communicating it in the future employers to make them, you know, compelling and stands out among other applicants?
Yeah, I'm happy to start with this one. I think the reason why employers kind of look for more, you know, collaboration skills, communication kind of stuff, because we know you come from, we know what kind of degree background you come from just by looking at a resume, and we can kind of understand the skills that you have already there. And you know, from a recruiting background anyway, we're already kind of thinking, oh, you have these kind of skills, you know, we could fit you in ABC role that we possibly have within our organization. I think most skills that, you know, you learn within the technology field, you need to get quite hands-on with, and that's stuff that you can learn along the way, especially within a graduate program. We're not looking for people that have tons of experience or have done, you know, countless internships and stuff like that. We're just looking for people that are keen to get into the field, and we can teach all that extra stuff, the more technical side of skills along the way. But, you know, if you're really looking to get into a technical role and, you know, your app devs, software engineers, that kind of thing, it does, I guess, pay to have a little bit of background and be able to do certain bits and pieces, like have some cloud background or know how to code, that kind of thing. And it's especially important when you do apply for graduate roles and stuff like that, that you highlight those skills so that we know that that's an area that you want to focus on and an area that you want to move into, whether that be, you know, within cloud or development or whatnot.
I'll have a go as well. And I think quite often we think, you know, a technology company wants technology skills or technical skills, and we can teach those, as Daniel's been saying. Sometimes it's harder to teach soft skills, what I would consider soft skills, like that teamwork and the communication. So if you were wanting some real tangibles to take out of this session about how you could build those, is think about doing maybe a Toastmaster course so you can learn those communication skills, be they for a presentation or even just to have a conversation with somebody, or get involved in some of the university groups that you have, and that might show a little bit that you can work in a team, that you can achieve something, do something social as well. And even if you're particularly shy, I can still remember coming out of university feeling like I was really, really shy. Some of just being able to articulate what you can do verbally as well as in written format can be useful. So if you're going into an interview and you're feeling like you can't actually articulate, try it out. You know, stand in front of a mirror and talk about yourself. It might feel really uncomfortable, but have a go at doing it before you actually get into a really, really high stress situation and you're going, I can't remember what I was going to say. I don't feel comfortable in this situation. If you've got that little bit of practice behind you, often it becomes a little bit easier when you're in that interview situation.
Yeah, I'll just jump in a little bit there as well. You know, when we, all our organisations were building applications, things, nothing gets done individually. No, it's always done as part of a team. And so being able to sort of come together, and there are always going to be people who are quite quiet, some people who are really outgoing in groups. You find your niche over time within your cohort at work. But it is really, really important that you can show those skills, that you can work together as a team. That doesn't necessarily mean you need to be the jumping around the office being the happiest person all the time, right? We understand that everyone comes to an organisation with different skill sets in that area, but you do need to get involved, and that's really important. And you know, when you start an organisation, this is your company, and it's up to you to get involved to help grow that company. As well. So, you know, when I'm looking at people's CVs, for example, I am looking to see, you know, people getting involved in different clubs at university that have done some, you know, teaching assistant roles or tutoring and things like that. Those are really, really good skill sets that show maybe you can, maybe you're not working in a big environment, but you may be working in a one-to-one environment, you're coaching other people. You've benefited from those experiences over your lifetime at the university, and it's great to see you being able to give that back to your fellow colleagues as well.
Yeah, I'd agree with everything that's been said so far. Maybe just add a couple of things. If you are looking to try and stand out technically, there are a number of things you could try and do. So you can imagine it from the employer's perspective. We receive countless CVs and you want your one to jump to the top of the pile. So if you've got something in there that really grabs our attention, then that's a really positive thing to have. That could be something like an extra qualification, maybe that you know, your peers don't have. It could be some sort of involvement in university groups, like Claire mentioned, or maybe you've even done some contributions to existing software projects that may be open source that we can have a look at. Those kind of things are really practical things that will jump your CV to the top of the pile. But once you get to the interview, we need to be convinced that you're someone that we want to work with. So that's when those soft skills really come into play. Trying to be interesting and engaging in the interview process, despite you're probably nervous, and everyone's nervous during interview processes, but try to come across as interesting and really engaged and wanting to be a part of the team, because that's the kind of thing that we're looking for during the interview process.
Thank you so much, everyone. That was very insightful. Yeah, so I think technical skills is very important, but core skills are very crucial for you to be able to communicate what you have done. So I think Jonathan mentioned about projects, and Claire mentioned about being involved in social activities within your university or within your community that you belong to. I think a lot of employers will look like something like that, something that you're passionate about, looking at your interests, and being able to communicate how much stuff you've done in investing in yourself and upskilling yourself all the time. So otherwise, employers will not be able to see what kind of learning you've done throughout your life and what kind of challenges you've gone through. So thank you for all of those. For students and attendees, I would like to encourage you to check your question in the Q&A, and I will be able to read it out to the panelists for today. So another question before we go into Q&A is, I think, what is the most important piece of advice you'd give to students who wants to work in your organization, especially in the technology sector? And then after that, we want to have a little bit of idea of how has COVID-19 has affected the way that you're doing your business. So 2 questions at once. I hope it's not too much. Anyone can start.
Yeah, I'll go first. I think, don't panic when you get to a new organization, right? There's always going to be people here to look after you. You're investing your time in a new job and things, and we're investing a lot in you as a person. So don't panic when you come into an organization. We'll look after you. We'll guide you through a process. Lots and lots of people have gone before you, and you're in good hands and stuff once you do get into an organization. When I looked at things like COVID and things there, we brought on a lot of grads during that time as well, especially some of them just before we went into lockdown. And I was really, really proud of the way that both the seniors got involved and brought the grads up through the program while we were in lockdown. And it was really impressive to see how resilient the team were. They actually got better. There's only so much time you can spend watching movies, right? So at some point in time, everyone just really wanted to hunker down and actually learn a lot of skills during that time. And it was, a bit of a blessing for a lot of people that could actually really focus on building up their technical knowledge and business knowledge during that time. So, we moved fully into a working from home environment. Now we have a hybrid approach to how we do work now. So you can work in the office or at home. And I think that's going to be the same for going forward for the next few years. So let's see how that evolves as well. So, but yeah, I think that my key message to graduates starting in a new role is don't panic that when you've got on the job. It's now our job to support you and your job to take your opportunities.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off Peter a bit there, yeah, we do have processes in place for graduates. I think every company does. For us, we go through your induction process, and then we'll have a set training plan for you to get you started within the organization, and most businesses will. It's really important when you do start a graduate program or any entry-level role that you do move into, ask plenty of questions. Like, we don't expect you to know everything from day one. The reason you're there is to kind of be a bit of a disruptor, change things up, try to create something new. And that's what we're looking for in grads, fresh ideas and fresh voices to join the team. So yeah, don't be afraid to ask any questions, even if you think they might be stupid. They're definitely not. We're definitely looking for those fresh ideas. And yeah, also similar to Peter, we've moved into that kind of hybrid model for the way we do things as well. So we've moved into a virtual first model where everyone, we just say, you work from home or work flexibly as you like to. And then if you ever need to come into the office to work with a client or face-to-face with team members, we have offices in every state. and major location to work with you. So yeah, that's a bit about us.
And I think I would agree with both Peter and Daniel in that we love our graduates to come in as learners. They don't need to know everything before they start at Eagle. We just want them to be open to learning new things. And like Daniel said, you know, we have a program, we run a 6-week really intensive learning program right at the start of our internship to help people maybe get to know the technology that you haven't seen or heard about before. And then just keep going with that learning. You know, you're always going to be learning. I've been in the industry 20 years and I'm still learning new stuff. Technology changes so quickly. And I think it's just being open to continually learning things and not thinking you know everything now that you're 6 months in or a year in or 20 years into your job. It's just keep learning. And I think also take those opportunities that are given to you or you see as well. And they might be like, you might think they're really minor things, but they are opportunities that could open up huge doors for you in the future. So just be willing to take those opportunities and be open to somebody mentoring you and helping you if you're getting stuck. And for, I guess, correction as well, if you know, something doesn't work quite as you expect it to be able to work through that process with somebody as well. And you know, COVID has obviously changed quite a bit about working environments. We're much more flexible about where we can work from and what hours we can work. We, for example, have got somebody working from Canada at the moment as part of COVID because they just couldn't get an MIQ spot to get back to New Zealand. And so we're very, very flexible as to how we can work. We do have physical offices that we go in and work in as well. And that's, I guess, that's mainly for the social side of things, because working remotely, you often don't get to see people or have those random conversations that might spark lots of ideas going forward. So having that social aspect of a physical office is something that we're still trying to promote as well.
Yeah, thanks, Claire. And here at CAMI, we also know that, you know, the first job you have, either as an intern or a graduate, is a very challenging time for people. So we want to provide a lot of support for you as you enter into that role. At CAMI, we like to put people through an induction period where you get a really good grasp of the business and can get to grips with exactly what CAMI does and what we offer and really how we work and how you can fit into that role, you know, as you build into it over the first few months. Like Daniel said, ask a lot of questions, be really interested. Those are the kind of things that we look out for. We certainly don't expect you to know everything. No one knows everything in any business. So there's lots of questions that you'll need to ask to get up to speed and figure out, you know, where you can fit and where you can be most effective. At CAMI, we have regular mentorship processes for new people joining to make sure that you're getting good feedback from seniors in terms of how you're progressing and what your performance looks like and whether or not there's any areas that we think you could look in terms of improving your performance as well. And bring new ideas and new suggestions to the team. We're always up for new ideas at CAMI. We want to know how we can improve. Often graduates and interns are closer to maybe new technologies or to the education system, and you've got new things that you can suggest and bring to the table. So we're always interested in that. In terms of COVID has been an absolutely massive time for CAMI, as it seemed like half the world became online learners overnight. And CAMI just exploded in terms of the size of our user base. So it's been a wild ride for the last couple of years here at CAMI, but we've been very proactive in terms of looking after our employees during that time, from basic things like providing masks and filters to more recently providing RAT tests, and just making sure that people have the supplies and things that they need. It obviously means we miss out on some stuff, so we're not in the office to enjoy things like the catered lunches and the drinks fridges and that kind of thing. But we're looking forward to getting back into the office more, hopefully this year. And we've got team members like Claire, who we actually haven't met, who we've hired in the last 6 months, who we've never actually met in person here in New Zealand. So that's been a challenge as well. And we've also moved to a much more flexible model. Most people at CAMI are still working from home. working remotely, and we like to provide a lot of flexibility around working hours and try to support people as they have to work from home at this moment.
Thank you. It's always so exciting for me to learn how different organizations navigate the social aspect of working to make everyone feel connected. So thank you so much for that. Summer of Tech is using Gather. So it looks like a little Minecraft game, but people can go to different rooms and chat to different people. Yeah, we're trying to be creative. Anyway, so let's go into the questions and answers. I know that some of you have actually checked your questions there. And in fact, Peter and Daniel have jumped in as well. So let's throw in these questions around support about hiring international students and whether or not you offer internships in addition to graduate roles. This is for all the panelists.
Yeah, I'll jump on in. Sort of international students. Yeah, of course we do. That's as part of. We understand that people have come to New Zealand to make a life for themselves here, and they want to. A lot of them want to transition out of the visas that are around, university study and into full time, and stay here long time in New Zealand. So of course we are, and vice versa as well. People can pick up roles here and then head overseas and do things overseas, and we look after the visa process on the other side as well. So very much so.
Yeah, the same here at CAMI. We'd be looking to support anyone who we wanted to become part of the CAMI team and figure out how we can make that work. Yep.
Sorry, and Jonathan, do you, just one, going back to Jonathan, do you offer internships as well?
We do. We offer internships and graduate programs, so both, yes.
Thank you. Go ahead.
So just, I guess, on the internship role, we actually call our graduate position an internship role, and it's a 6-month internship role to start with, and then it can roll into more of a graduate role, I guess, over the 18 months after that first 6 months. But it's a paid internship for the first 6 months as well. So well, I guess we are expecting at Eagle that somebody's already finished their study and that they've graduated to become an intern at Eagle. And yes, we do employ people who are here on international study visas because they usually come with an ability to work for a couple of years afterwards with those visas. So we're very happy to work with people they decide to stay in New Zealand for longer than that 2-year period to help them with their applications to become permanent residents in New Zealand.
I'm gonna have to be the bad guy here. Unfortunately, for our graduate positions, we can only take on people with citizenship or PR. It's just a case of the clients that you'll be working with, and you will come across clients with certain requirements. And for internships, we don't have a formal internship program, but we do hire interns depending on the roles that are available at the moment within teams. We just don't have a formal program for it. You can check those out through our DXC global job portal, and they'll have internship programs there.
Awesome, thank you. So we only have 6 minutes left. So if any of the students attending today have more questions, now is the time. There is a question from Jing. Thank you, Jing. For graduates with no work experience, what preparation do we need to succeed in the interview or the recruitment process in general?
Had this a few times from candidates doing career fairs because they're just interested in how they can get a bit further, actually. So simple things like LinkedIn Learning and doing additional little bits of study online. Doesn't have to be anything formal that you have to pay for. Just doing little bits of study where you've learned a new technology or learned a new process or piece of knowledge like Prince2 training or something like that. Those little things kind of add up, but also not having any major work experience isn't a downturn for your application. So even if you've worked in some sort of, most people come from a hospitality or retail background, and that's really, beneficial for most people because it shows that you have customer service skills and you can work with customers, which is what we all do, right? We're all working for someone else and trying to provide them services. So having those kind of skills is really important. And yeah, you can highlight those on your resume and cover letters.
Yeah, and I agree with what Daniel said, and also acknowledge that it is frustrating when you are looking for your first job, when everybody says, oh, you need some more experience, and you're going, but I can't get the experience that you require me to have. And so, you know, for us, particularly at Eagle in the GIS area, if you go on and do some of the free learning that Esri has and put that in your CV, so they have massive open online courses that you can do free of charge. That would be a huge check as far as we're concerned, because it shows that you're actually interested in learning more about GIS. You can go down the more, I guess, formal paid route if you wanted to. We do have certifications that you could look at, foundational certifications, but it's not required. If you want to use the free sort of massive open online courses, I think that's probably a really good way to show that you're interested in the industry that we work in.
Yeah, and we'd be the same here at CAMI. We know that you know, many interns and graduates applying for positions won't have a lot of work experience, or perhaps no work experience at all. And it's definitely not a requirement to apply for a role at CAMI. There's many other ways, kind of like I mentioned earlier, where you can do little bits of extra things and add those to your CV and help yourself stand out in those ways. So I wouldn't put that as a roadblock in terms of applying for an intern or a graduate role at CAMI. We look again a lot more at the fit of how we think you're going to work in the organization. Are you a good fit for the culture? And we can see, you know, what technical things you've done in terms of your education, and we'll ask you a little bit about those. But we're looking much more at the overall package of what we think you can provide and how we think you'll grow in the role at CAMI.
And
Awesome.
from FNZ's point of view there, you know, one of the things that we want to sort of do is make sure that oh, I lost train of thought. That, you know, you're oh, sorry, I was going to pick up another question here. Sorry, about supporting working mums and things as well. There was a great question coming through. Yeah, we're working really, really hard at the moment and stuff to really improve the D&I space and things there, and make sure that there are lots of opportunities for all walks of life and things coming into FNZ. Yeah, we've moved our objectives for this year, right, to try and get about 50% of our employees and stuff up to being females in the organisation. And for technology, that's a big jump and things as well. So it's pretty important for us to sort of get and support people as they come into organisation, the different needs that they have and things as well. And supporting working mums is, you know, right at the top of that agenda. And also working dads, right? And you know, there's with COVID, I think, and things have changed around now. There's a lot of different responsibilities that people have taken on, and I think it's really important that we acknowledge that as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Tech industry is definitely one of those industries that is very male dominated. In New Zealand, the number is only 27% of the IT professionals who identify as women or non-binary or gender diverse people. So definitely this is something that we can all contribute together in achieving that balance. I'm particularly interested in learning from Claire as someone who is a female and also working in technology space. And if you can have some tips to kind of build the confidence of graduates here.
So it has changed a lot. When I first started working for Eagle, I think we went from 2 females to 3 females working in the technology area. I've been working for Eagle for 15 years now, and it has changed a lot since there. So I would probably say that maybe 25 to 35% of our workforce is female. And we do have a lot of working mums who are in our organisation, and they have flexible times. So if they need to go off and pick kids up from daycare or from school, there is that a flexibility to manage that. And as Peter said, sometimes it's the dad that's doing that sort of work, and especially during lockdown in Auckland when kids were at home, we did have a lot of flexibility with some people working through the evenings because they had kids that they had to do schoolwork with as well. Eagle is also very open to part-time work as well. So for a number of years, I went down to part-time work. So although I have to warn people who, and it might not be something new to people, part-time work always feels like doing a full-time job in part-time hours. But it is possible and it can be done.
Awesome, thank you. I think just for the interest of time, I would like to quickly ask all of you, what is in one sentence, why should students apply with your organizations? Perhaps 10 seconds each. That will be our final thoughts for today.
Sure, I'll go first. At DXC, there's a great graduate culture, and you'll build up a lot of good networks and, you know, all the training and development as well that comes with it, as well as being virtual first and very flexible with time and management of your own work.
At FNZ, yeah, we're a fast-paced growth company, got a large range of opportunities both here in New Zealand and overseas. So if you're looking to further yourself overseas and grow, then yeah, FNZ's got a lot of things for you.
Thanks. And at CAMI, we're building the future of the digital classroom here, and we're really excited to have talented young technology professionals come and join us on that journey.
And Eagle is a really innovative company looking at emerging technologies as well as existing technologies. We care both about our employees and our customers, and we want to make sure that both succeed in what they're doing, as well as helping our customers especially to make a difference in the world with GIS.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your thoughts and tips, especially for students today. Just a little bit of shout out about Summer of Tech. We are a charity, a nonprofit organization based here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. So we've been running our program for 16 years, empowering students who would like to explore a career in the technology industries. And so we run around 90 student workshops that are free for you. So this will help you in connecting with the industry professionals, help you put together a strong and compelling CV, and also prepare for job interviews that might be coming in. But we also have cloud technology type of boot camps, and also like if you're interested in digital accessibility, for example, we have a boot camp on that as well coming up. So all you need to do is to sign up as a student. But yeah, we're very grateful. Thank you so much. And I will hand it over to Grant.